On the night Elena Novak disappeared, her mother received a text message that simply read, "I found a job. Don't worry about me." That was the last message anyone believed Elena actually sent. By the time police uncovered the truth, 3 countries were involved, 5 women had vanished, and one of Prague's most respected businessmen was secretly running a trafficking network hidden behind luxury hotels and modeling agencies. But none of that would have been exposed if Elena hadn't escaped. And what she revealed shocked investigators across Europe. Elena Novak was 22 years old and desperate for a fresh start. She lived in a small apartment on the outskirts of Prague with her mother, Jana, who worked double shifts cleaning offices after Elena's father died from a heart condition years earlier. Elena dreamed of becoming a fashion photographer. She spent hours taking pictures of strangers on the streets, editing photos late into the night, and sending applications to agencies that never responded. Then one afternoon in March, everything changed. A sharply dressed woman approached her outside a cafe near Old Town Square. Her name was Katerina Weiss. She claimed she worked for a talent recruitment company connected to luxury resorts across Europe. She complimented Elena's portfolio after seeing the camera hanging around her neck and said they needed young creatives for hotel marketing campaigns in Vienna. The offer sounded perfect. Travel, housing, a monthly salary Elena had never even imagined. Katerina spoke calmly, professionally, confidently. She even showed Elena polished contracts and photos of other employees, smiling beside beaches and hotel pools. There was only one condition. The job needed an immediate departure. Elena hesitated at first, but bills were piling up. Her mother was exhausted, and the opportunity felt too good to lose. 3 days later, Elena boarded a black van with 2 other young women. None of them knew they were being trafficked. At first, everything appeared normal. They crossed into Austria legally. Their passports were checked. The driver joked casually with border officers. But the atmosphere changed after midnight. Their phones were collected for security reasons. One of the girls protested. The driver slapped her so hard her nose started bleeding. Nobody spoke after that. By sunrise, Elena realized they were not heading to Vienna. Road signs began appearing in German and Hungarian. Hours later, they arrived at a heavily guarded property outside Budapest. The gates locked behind them. That was the moment Elena understood she was trapped. The building looked like a luxury villa from the outside. Inside it was something else entirely. Windows were reinforced. Doors locked electronically. Security cameras covered every hallway. There were other girls there. Some from Romania. Some from Ukraine. One girl whispered she had been missing for almost 8 months. They were forced to entertain wealthy clients who arrived in expensive cars late at night. Anyone who resisted was beaten. The traffickers controlled everything: food, sleep, movement, even bathroom access. But the psychological manipulation was worse. They constantly told the women nobody was searching for them. That police officers were paid off. That escape would lead to death. And for a while Elena believed them. Until she noticed something strange. One client recognized her language. He was Czech. When he quietly asked where she was from, Elena took a risk. She slipped a folded napkin into his jacket pocket while pretending to serve him a drink. On the napkin she had written, "Please help me. We are prisoners." The man never reacted. He simply left. And for 3 terrifying days nothing happened. Elena became convinced the note had failed. Then the guards suddenly became nervous. Phone calls increased. Rooms were searched. One of the traffickers burned documents in a fireplace behind the villa. Something had changed. What Elena didn't know was that the Czech client had anonymously contacted authorities in Czech Republic, triggering a multinational investigation involving anti-trafficking units in Hungary and Austria. But investigators still lacked proof. Until another twist changed everything. One of the guards made a mistake. His name was Viktor Salek, a former nightclub bouncer known for violence. During a late-night transfer between properties, he stopped at a roadside gas station and left Elena handcuffed in the back seat while he argued with the cashier. Elena noticed the child lock wasn't engaged. Her heart started pounding. She knew she would only get one chance. She forced the door open and ran barefoot into the freezing rain. Victor saw her almost instantly. He chased her across the highway while shouting threats in Slovak. Cars swerved violently. Elena stumbled into a wooded area beside the road, cutting her legs on broken branches and rocks. She later told investigators she could hear him breathing behind her in the darkness. Then headlights appeared through the trees. A truck driver had seen the chase. When Victor realized someone had witnessed everything, he fled. The truck driver called emergency services. Elena collapsed before police arrived. Her rescue became the turning point in the case. For 2 days she refused to sleep indoors because she believed the traffickers would find her again. Investigators slowly gained her trust. And once she started talking, the entire operation began unraveling. She identified properties, vehicles, nicknames, client routines. But the biggest shock came when she described the man everyone answered to. His name was Adrian Volker. Publicly, Adrian was a respected hotel investor connected to charity organizations across Central Europe. Photographs showed him attending galas with politicians and business leaders. Nobody suspected him. Behind closed doors, authorities discovered he used luxury hotels to recruit and transport vulnerable women through fake employment programs. Several employees were involved. Even worse, evidence revealed certain local officials had accepted bribes to ignore complaints connected to missing women. The investigation exploded across international media. Raids were carried out simultaneously in Prague, Budapest, and Vienna. 9 victims were rescued. Hidden rooms were discovered beneath one property disguised as a wine cellar. Investigators recovered passports, surveillance footage, financial records, and encrypted client lists. Then came the final twist. Katerina Weiss, the woman who recruited Elena, had once been a trafficking victim herself. Authorities learned she had been coerced into helping the network years earlier after threats were made against her younger brother. Her testimony later became key evidence during trial proceedings. The court case lasted nearly 11 months. Elena testified behind a privacy screen because prosecutors feared retaliation. She described the beatings, the manipulation, the fear. At one point, courtroom observers reportedly fell silent when Elena said, "The worst part wasn't being trapped. It was believing nobody would come." Adrian Volker denied everything. But digital evidence destroyed his defense. Encrypted transfers linked him directly to recruitment payments. Security footage placed him at trafficking sites. DNA evidence connected several clients and guards to assaults. By the end of the trial, Adrian Volker and 6 others were convicted on charges including human trafficking, kidnapping, organized criminal activity, and sexual exploitation. Several corrupt officials were arrested afterward. The scandal forced multiple resignations within regional law enforcement agencies. Today, Elena lives under a protected identity. She still struggles with nightmares. Crowded places make her anxious. Sudden footsteps behind her can trigger panic. But she now works with organizations helping trafficking survivors rebuild their lives. Every year, she speaks privately to investigators training new anti-trafficking units. And during one interview years later, she revealed something investigators never forgot. The night she escaped into the rain, she had already accepted she might die. But she ran anyway. Because she believed that if even one person survived long enough to speak, the truth could no longer stay hidden. If you found this story gripping and want more powerful true crime stories like this, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next investigation. What would you have done in Elena's situation? Could you have found the courage to escape and expose such a dangerous criminal network? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Your engagement helps us bring you more compelling true crime stories every week.